get started. Welcome everybody. This is a great turnout. We're so happy you're all here. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. I usually don't have trouble with people not hearing. So we're going to look at what's going to happen in the next couple of months. Our March general meeting is a month from tonight, and we'll have Megan Cruz from the Tulsa County Election Board. Same place, same time. In April, we're going to meet at Rubenstill Library at 1520 North Hartford Avenue, not Hardesty. And whoops. Who are we going to have for that? We're going to. That's when we're going to have the trad wives ladies. The trad wife speaker is somebody who has left the traditional wife, extremely conservative movement and is going around giving speeches about what it's like, how to talk to people who are in that movement, and what we can do to kind of combat that whole image of bogus image of femininity that they're presenting. So that's April 13th, right? It's on Monday. Yeah, it's on Monday, April 13th. And we're co-sponsoring that with Good Trouble Tulsa, the Red, Wine, and Blue group. And tonight, there's an after party at El Tequila at 81st and Memorial. So those of you who just haven't had quite enough can come on and socialize, which is fun. And now, here's my co-leader, Susan Batteraco.
Usually I forget to say my name, so I appreciate her telling me who I am.
I need to remind you who you are, yes.
I'm going to start talking about the peacekeepers first because we have a new training session coming up. I feel like there is some confusion about the role of a peacekeeper, and it's very important to me that you understand what they do. When I first heard peacekeepers, I had pictured somebody from the United Nations wearing an AK something on the strapped to their back and helping save lives. Our peacekeepers keep the peace, and what they do is they help de-escalate situations. And so recently, Ray, who is not here tonight, Ray encountered a very agitated man, and he was very angry because at one of our protests, somebody was holding a flag upside down. Now, I view an upside-down flag as a sign of distress, and I find that our nation is in distress.
Yes.
But he was very upset, and understandably, if you're a veteran, that would be concerning to you. And she was able to de-escalate the situation, and Ray was not carrying a gun. So I want you to know, if you are the kind of person that can face somebody that is upset and agitated and possibly bring them down, I want to meet you. And I want you to take this class so that you understand more ways that we can accomplish this. This is for all of our safety because the peacekeepers attend most of our protests, and we, you might have heard, have a big protest coming up. This is a group meeting where we are going to be talking about all the individual working groups we have. So I have the pleasure of introducing Monica tonight. And Monica has done an amazing job running the election tracking committee, so here she is.
Thank you, Susan. I only get to do an amazing job because there are some amazing people on the committee, many of whom are here today, so thank you guys, and I will be asking for more help in just a minute. Here's what we've been up to. We have our first endorsement to announce today. We have decided to endorse Susan Lankin for Tulsa Public Schools District 7. She is an incumbent and the current board president. She is actually back there to gather anyone's contact information if you would like to help her campaign in any way. So let me remind you all a little bit about how we got to this point. The committee early on set forth a process and some principles aligned with Indivisible nationwide about protecting the Constitution, civil rights. We have some principles around adequate funding for health, mental health, education, etc. We shared those with you some number of months ago. And then we offered all of the competitive race candidates an opportunity to answer a survey. We tried to make the survey as concise as possible. For school board, we were asking about top priorities, why they were interested, connection to education, and so forth. The reasons we decided to endorse Susan is her deep history with the Tulsa Public School system as a student, an involved parent, a board member, and her stated commitment to bringing opportunity to all children, which really resonates with our principle around equity. So we sent everyone the survey. Now, some of you in this room may have helped us identify candidates in other school districts. ITC will be tracking there's like 6 or 7 school districts that touch Tulsa County that are substantial. None of those races, except for 2, TPS District 7, TPS District 4, ended up having competitive races, like a primary or anything contested. So if you're in this room and you helped with that, thank you. You'll have an opportunity to help again. But we offered the 4 candidates who were running an opportunity to answer a survey, and then based on responses, we chose to endorse Susan. So I think that's all about the process. What happens next? So next, I've introduced Susan and let you folks know that we are sort of offering the community as resources for campaigns we are endorsing. We are, at this moment anyways, not trying to organize anything, not trying to run anything, but we are trying to make the introduction. Here's everybody, there's the candidate. We have a much broader online community as well, so to that point, we will be drafting and releasing a press release early next week. And then, again, this is our first endorsement, so we're really gonna figure out like what that kind of looks like. But at the very least, it will be announcements in our newsletter, social media, and then hoping that candidates sort of cross-promote Indivisible Tulsa County on their materials as well, because hopefully this will be something that if a candidate accepts our endorsement, that they're proud of it and want folks to know. So that's sort of round 1. It's been a big learning experience. Our next big thing is the June primary. This is everything that's going to be on the ballot in November, and it's a lot. So here is my ask. We would love to have at least 2 more committee members join us. And what does that mean? Our committee meets monthly. We tend to do it at the Bronson Brookside Library or the Schusterman Library. So we meet once a month for an hour. I have my strengths and my weaknesses. One of my strengths is keeping that meeting to an hour, and anyone on that committee will attest to it. I like to have an agenda. We move quickly and we get stuff done in an hour. So if that sounds like something you want to do to help us with election tracking, we are looking for at least 2 more people. And if you don't want to join the committee but you'd like to help, I'm looking for 4 people. This is what the 4 of you would do. You will follow or track either 2 state house races or 2 state senate races. And what that means is we've gotten a lot better at knowing sources of where we find this information. We have a spreadsheet in a Google Drive, but what we need is the candidate's name, their website, their contact information, we need all the stuff that we need to be able to contact them, tell them who we are, and then offer them the opportunity to do that. And that's a lot of legwork, and here's the thing. Right now, we don't know how many candidates House District 9 is going to attract, right? It could be nobody, it could be 19. So it's a little bit of a roll of the dice, but there's that piece of it. And then also communicating with the candidate is a little fiddly. So if you sign up for that, you would also be sort of the liaison to the candidate. We'll do a tutorial online to show you how that works. It's not hard, it's just time consuming and a little fiddly because of how we have to do it. So, let's see, yeah. But if you want to be part of the decision-making process, then you need to sign up to be on the committee, okay? So there's my spiel. Now, we have some very high-tech index cards. Carol has them in the back. If you would like to track 2 House districts or 2 Senate districts, would you raise your hand and she'll bring you a card, and that's how we'll collect your contact information so we don't waste time. She'll be here till the end. I have to leave a little bit early. But are there 4 people who'd like to do that part? Love to see it. It's not going to take very much time. Yay, thank you. There's 1, there's 2. There's a 3. We need 1 more. Please. If you're not contributing in any way, this is a pretty easy, contributing, you're here, you're contributing, you're protesting, whatever, but this is an important piece of Indivisible, is helping people decide who to vote for. So is there anyone more? Yay, thank you in the back. Okay, now this is the heavier lift. Are there 2 people who'd like to join the committee and help us make the decisions?
What's that take?
Yes, it's 1 meeting a month for an hour. I think we meet the 2nd Thursday, it might be, 5:30 to 6:30, Bronson Brookside Library usually, or shoot them in if we can't swing that.
I'm working on Croissant's campaign. Can I be part of the committee?
I would say that's probably a conflict of interest, but thank you for offering.
I'm working the election.
I don't think that's a conflict.
Okay.
And you won't be sitting, because you won't be able to say, I'm with Indivisible and here's who we're endorsing while you're checking people's ID. Someone would show you the door quickly. So if you'd like to be on the committee, Carol will bring you a sign-up card.
Monica, the next meeting is March 12th.
The next meeting is March 12th, thank you. And at Bronson Brookside Library, thank you.
Is it Thursday?
I believe it's a Thursday.
I'm gonna trust me to do that.
Okay, so Carol's got cards for you. What we need you to do is please write your name, your email, and your phone number on that card and get it back to Carol. She'll be in the back, and that way we'll contact you. Yes, and back there?
I'm working Senate District 34's campaign for Amy Hossain.
I don't think we could probably, well, actually, you're just gathering information,
Well,
so.
I'm dropping the lid, I'm working with the campaign.
No, for us, you'd just be gathering information on the other candidates, right? You wouldn't be part of the decision-making process, so yeah, we'd love your help
See,
to.
and that's the thing, Dan Prieto is Senate District 34 in my.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah, so all we're gathering from you in this particular role then is going to the website that shows who's got a committee or eventually who's gonna file, picking up their names, phone numbers, emails, websites, and putting it in our spreadsheet. And so I don't see a conflict between collecting information and what you're doing, but thank you for calling that out. Yes, ma'am?
I can help out with that.
Do we have any more cards? Woo-hoo! All right, y'all. Thank you very much. Okay, so please fill out that stuff and get it to Carol, because if you don't give it to Carol, we have no way of finding you again, and we really need your help, so thank you so much.
It gives me a lot of pleasure to introduce Carissa, who has volunteered to be our treasurer, and it's been a massive project, so I'm going to let her explain.
Hi, I'm Carissa Kumar. I am the new treasurer for Indivisible Tulsa County. So far this year, we have implemented our accounting software, MoneyMinder. We have created a method for donations to be routed through the bank account associated with our nonprofit and multiple ways to process those donations. I will be passing out a flyer at the end of our meeting that will provide you with all the details on the different methods that you're able to do donations. Is it a arrow over? No. Wrong way. There we go. So this pie chart basically kind of breaks down what our expenses were for 2025. We had quite a few events between Beto O'Rourke, the different No Kings protest, Workers Over Billionaires, and so on. So our venue expenses were quite a bit. So just a bit under $18,000 for everything that we did last year. A lot of us have also came out of pocket ourselves to help everything happen. So this is kind of like a baseline expense. All right, so our upcoming No Kings protest is on March 28th. We are expecting a really big turnout, and we want to make it amazing. We're estimating the total cost for No Kings 3 to be around $3,500. Expenses will include permits, security, audio equipment, printing, lots and lots of printing, stage rentals, porta potty requirements, that kind of thing. So with that being said, we will need donations to continue the fight. Most of you are likely familiar with donating through ActBlue. However, we are asking everyone to transition to CheddarUp, which is our hosting service that routes the donations received directly to our bank account. This will allow us much more flexibility in spending. It helps us avoid unnecessary fees. And we all know that the current regime has targeted ActBlue in the past, and we want to ensure that we have control over our funds. This is the direct website to donate. You can go there. On that flyer, we'll also have all that information for you guys to take with you.
You might mention, we can't put up links and QR codes to accept donations in the meeting.
Right, yeah,
Because we're at the library.
so because of our restrictions with the library, this is all something that you guys would do on your own time if you choose. We are not allowed to do actual donations here. So a lot of times when I've done fundraising in the past for my kids and sports and things of that nature, whenever you're raising funds, you go to people you know. Usually family members, friends, employers, people you work with, things of that nature. So we are looking to see if you know of any business that would be interested in helping support what we're doing. If you know of somebody, you can email us at that email there, and I would be happy to reach out to them and have a conversation and kind of just answer any questions they might have. And then we will also, if they do a donation, we'll give their business a shout out on our social media to help promote what they're doing to help us. And then for merch, why is merch important? First, the proceeds, of course, go directly to support us with Indivisible. Second, who doesn't want to rep one of the coolest organizations in Tulsa? And third, it spreads the word to others who may not know about Indivisible Tulsa County, and it can be a conversation starter. However, in my opinion, the most important thing about having merch is unity. I've heard many stories from members who have encountered people in the wild with their ITC merch on. It lets them know that they are not alone. It lets them know that we aren't afraid to stand up for what we believe to be right. It is a refreshing feeling to be out and about and have a stranger point to your shirt or hoodie, and in that moment, you know that you're among friends. With that said, I'd like to introduce Chris. Stand up.
Hello.
This is Chris. She's going to be helping us with our merch stuff going forward. We do now have long sleeve options for t-shirts. Before it was just the t-shirt, hoodie, or sweatshirt. So now we have long sleeve for the Indivisible shirt as well as our No King shirt. If you want to have a No King shirt for our upcoming protest, go ahead and get your order in as soon as possible so that you can make sure to have it in time. Thank you, guys.
I also want to say thank you very much if you've ever donated to ITC. You can see that we're doing a lot around here, and it's taking more and more money as we grow bigger. So thank you for every donation anybody has ever made to this cause. Next, I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine. This is Amy Bryant. She's going to talk about the rapid response mutual aid side of it, and Deanne Paisley will be talking about the rapid responders. Who's going to go first? No, you go. Amy's up to bat.
Hi, my name is Amy Bryant, and I chair a rapid response subcommittee called Mutual Aid. The goal of our Mutual Aid committee is to help families that have been impacted by ICE. Inasmuch as our mainstream media is not covering it, abductions by ICE are happening in Tulsa and around Tulsa, and is leaving families shattered and scared. The families we serve are mostly women and children who've had their husbands, fathers, and other family members abducted by ICE. They have frequently lost their wage earners' support, and they're scared, sometimes too scared to leave their homes. Our goal is to bring food to these families. Through Susan B's leadership and work, we have partnered with All Souls Church to help provide and deliver food to these families. You can donate money or volunteer to help with this work with the links that are sent out on the Indivisible newsletters that come out via email and Facebook. If you want more information about this from me or any of our committee chairs, you can email us at indivisibletulsacounty@gmail.com. Dan?
Is there an event this Sunday?
Yes. A training.
No, having to do with mutual aid?
Yes,
At All
but
Souls?
we have more volunteers than they can use. We can only take a few volunteers at the church.
Oh, okay.
Great problem.
Yeah. Let me tell you that there is a lot of need in the community. And in chemistry, there's such thing as a rate limiting step. The rate limiting step for us is going to be money, right? Because we have found a way to buy food and get it very inexpensive. But unless we have food to deliver to these families, there's no sense arranging for more delivery drivers. And I know that a lot of you have expressed interest in becoming a delivery driver, but we need the funds to buy the food to have you deliver. So consider if this is something interesting, adopting a family or making an investment monthly so that we can keep this program rolling as fast as we can and growing as fast as we can. Next we have Deanne.
That's great. No, that's great. Hi, I'm Deanne, and I'm chair of the Rapid Response Team. And I first off want to just say thank you to the amazing, trusted volunteers. There's several of you sitting in this room who work on the Rapid Response Team. And I also want to say to all of the rest of you and anybody you might know that we are wide open. And we do believe in you, and we know that you all believe in your neighbors. And we want you to come be a part with us and show us that you care about your neighbors. Several of our members have shared wonderful articles and information with us, and one of our members shared an article that was titled, "We Belong to Each Other Now, Lessons from Minneapolis." And what we learned from that article is, number one, that speed matters, that you have to be ready to mobilize everybody all at once within a few seconds. And the second thing we learned is that you don't wait for permission. You don't wait for another heartbreaking, galvanizing event to happen, like we saw happen in Minneapolis. You've got to get out there and you got to do it. So what are we doing? First off, you need to know that we actually have a hotline. Ta-da! We've had some ups and downs with our hotline, but we love it, and it is being dispatched. We have an amazing woman who is a Spanish speaker who answers this hotline 24/7. I am proud to announce that mostly we get wrong numbers. And you know what? That's okay. We'll handle wrong numbers. But if we do get a call, we have amazing teams that are ready to go. And why are they ready to go? Because they've been trained. We have coordinated with CRNOK, and we've already got the word into them because I've already got more people clamoring for training, so that we can hopefully do the next one virtually. It's nice to do them in person, but shoot, if virtual is the way it goes, that's the way it goes. Plus, there is a training coming up on March 1st, Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. at the Fellowship Lutheran Church. And this one is put on by CRNOK, that's Community Resource Network out of Oklahoma City, but they actually have rapid response teams functioning all throughout the state, and the ACLU. And I don't know how many of you in this room attended the training that they had the 24th, no, I don't remember, it was about a week ago, on Thursday night at Fellowship Congregational Church, and it was amazing. It was the actual legal person from the ACLU. It was some of the best training I have ever attended. He answered all of the questions, and it was amazing. So if you can, that's a very good training, and I would urge you to go on Sunday afternoon. Fellowship Lutheran Church.
67 in Sheridan.
Thank you. I didn't write down the address. Okay? Yes.
So what do these teams do?
Okay. I'm going to give you a very brief concept. And I should have had you put the slide on about salute, but we'll just use the word salt. Because that's an easy one to remember, because what do you do to melt ice? You put salt on it. S, sight. Sight, where are they? Okay, size. You don't do both. A, action, what are they doing? L, location, where are they? T, time.
So
We
that's
show
what
up.
that's what
We
you-
actually have signal chats and WhatsApp chats. We talk to each other all the time. Believe me, we talk all the time. I have to have my phone on mute almost all the time. Anyway, we show up. Anybody who's out there and can show up, we show up. We're very good. We stay back. Remember, you have Zoom on your camera. You don't have to be in their face. But we've all been trained. We know what we're doing. We're not being confrontational. We practice de-escalation. And then we try to get photographs of their license plates. We try to see who got picked up. Generally, I haven't seen anywhere in the state where they've been able to stop an abduction. I'm sorry to report that, but it's the truth. But a lot of abandoned vehicles have been gathered up, and the keys have been gathered and they've been given back to the original owner, or at least somebody's been told, this is where your vehicle is, before the highway patrol can carry it off somewhere to parts unknown. So we're documenting. That's what we're doing.
I mean, when I was working on the slide, I just put that number in my phone as a contact.
Thank you.
So I can search it, and now I'll have it. I can't go, let me go find that slide, right? So you might consider putting that in your phone and just having it ready.
She's aware.
You never know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What time on Sunday again?
3 o'clock in the afternoon. The other thing we're working on right now is trying to set up a program with the YWCA and their legal services to help refugees. They happen to be moving their legal services office this week, so I was hoping I would have a little bit more information on that, but we've got to talk to them next week about how we're going to be able to do that to specifically help refugees that are working with the YWCA. I want to tell you about an amazing volunteer she literally made her own flyer, then went door to door in her neighborhood, then had a lunch for 13 of her closest unknown neighbors, gathered them all up together. They formed their own Signal Watch chat, their own Signal Community Resources chat. I'm just blown away. They are doing so much more. And she said, well, yeah, we're supposed to get to know our neighbors anyway, right? Ta-da! And now she's off to help more neighbors in more neighborhoods and more neighbors in more neighborhoods. And I know she would be always willing to help you because she's a really good person. But those are the kind of things that we can do, and we can help you set up those kind of chats, because believe me, that's one of the things that saved Minneapolis, are those neighborhood signal chats that were then all feeding back into other places. So, like they said, instead of just 10 people showing up, 100 people could show up to confront ICE and what they were doing. And the last thing I need to tell you is we have meetings. Ta-da! And we are having a meeting on the 10th, right? Yeah, Tuesday the 10th. And we are going to have what they're calling Spanish for Responders. We have several Spanish speakers in our group, and we had a request that people wanted to learn some Spanish. And so we thought, why not? Just give us a quick, simple lesson in how to speak some Spanish so that we can be more of a help to our neighbors. Hey, I see a question over there.
Is that like a poster that's available when we go out in communities?
Yes, I have put them all on the Indivisible Tulsa County Facebook page, I don't think they went out in the newsletter. I guess we could do that. I put them in other places on Facebook. We do have them all over our signal chats. I can send them to your phone. I can do that. And yes, because we definitely have that. We even have little cards that could be printed up. And we're looking at doing all of these things. You know, it's one step at a time as we do things. There's just a card that can be left places, and it's in Spanish, so that people would know that they could just pick up and call this number if they saw ICE in a neighborhood.
When is the meeting again?
Hardesty here, but I think it's the oak room. It's either oak or pecan, one of the trees.
What time was it?
6:30.
It's in the Oak Room,
It's the oak room.
6:30 in this library in the Oak Room.
Hey, hopefully by now you have figured out we have many diverse working groups, and so there is a place for anybody that's interested in joining us to find something you feel comfortable with. After the meeting, the group leaders should be mostly staying around so you can talk to them if you have questions. And the third thing I want you to know is that I have, over the last year, really been impressed by the relationships that I have developed amongst these teams. I love meeting these people and getting to know them better. And so I would wish that of all of you, that you got involved and you got to know people at this level, because it's you're sharing a lot at this level. So think of that. Okay, next we're going to talk to Bev, who is here to represent the CARE Committee.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bev Childress. I'm the co-chair of the CARE Committee. Michelle Schatz is the head chair, and she's an accountant, so you can guess where she is.
You need to tilt your mic in.
Yeah.
There you go.
You want me louder?
Yeah.
So first off, thank you to everyone that brought donations tonight. We're collecting donations for the Be Heard organization, so I'll deliver those out on your behalf in the next few days. Every general meeting, we try to set up a donation for, it's easy, you're coming here, we can gather things and take them out to different organizations. I want to read you our CARE Committee mission. It's a simple mission, but it feels very powerful to us. We unite Tulsa individual members in coordinated volunteer action to support local organizations. By connecting people, sharing resources, and offering hands-on assistance, we strengthen community resilience and make sure no neighbor is left behind. So we want to put our values of care in action in other ways. We like to go out and do protests, and all the different committees are needed, but we also want to go out and take care of people and make sure that they know that they matter, right? So we have several things coming up. In March, we're partnering with City Lights, the City Lights organization, and we're going to do the Thursday night lights program. There's a lot of lights in there. On March 12th, 6:30 to 9, there's a sign-up QR code there. If you would sign up, we would like to have a really big showing of Indivisible members there. The CARE Committee was able to secure a grant from the National Indivisible organization of $1,000. And this is what we've chosen to do with it. We're going to feed our neighbors, our homeless neighbors downtown. So please go to that QR code and sign up. We've got about 12 people right now. And I'd like to have a lot more than that, to serve food, to visit with these individuals that we're serving, our neighbors. Okay? So that's March 12th.
What day is that?
It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday night. Thursday night lights. Let's see. Also in March, we're going to take donations at the No Kings rally. So I think they're going to go to Skelly Elementary. They have a food pantry, and so we want to supply their food pantry. They have a lot of in-need kiddos and family members. there. So we believe that's where we're gonna do the donations. I don't know exactly what we're gonna ask for just yet. Give me another week or so and start watching socials, and I'll shoot it out there for what to bring. And I'll try to make it like small and easy where you can take it to the rally, drop it off at a table, you know, go take your sign and stand and protest. April, please disregard the Dream Center. Right now, we've had some communication issues with them, and we're gonna put a pin in it, move them to another time. So we may be looking for another hands-on event for April. But for April, for the general meeting for April, let's see. We'll be collecting new, unopened feminine hygiene products for the period pantry, okay? And that feeds right into what we're gonna do for May, is we're gonna go to the period pantry, and we're gonna volunteer there as a group, sorting, collecting, all of those things. So there's another QR code if you'll sign up. There's very few spots left. There might be 3 or 4 left. So if you're interested, you better do it now, because they're gonna go. And I'm not trying to auction it off or anything. I looked today and I was like, oh, we really don't have very many spots left for that. Okay, and so that's basically what we have. You're happy, we would be happy for you to join us. We're gonna have a meeting next Tuesday. Just the general board meeting. Anybody's welcome. And if you are interested in not only volunteering at these events, but actually doing the coordination of these events, please come Tuesday night and get involved with us that way. We need more coordinators to spread the load out just a little bit. And I'll be in the back if you want to come back there later and give me your name and number, and we can contact you. Okay? Thank you.
I want to talk about it a little bit. So I went to one of their meetings, and Michelle was there, and it was a day when there was a lot of negative news, and I was feeling very low. And Michelle told me I was in the right place. She said, when things are bad, you need to do this kind of work because it makes it for your heart feel good. So consider it. Next, we have the leader of the communications team. So Mark is going to speak to you.
Unfortunately, my photo's not showing, so you can look at this better instead. So, I'm Mark Vierthaler. I started with the group, actually joined the events group last spring, and been kind of hanging out and doing a lot of that stuff. This June, Susan asked me to build a website, which is a lot of fun to do, and we've been working on that. And then over the holidays, we were discussing how could we take the social media team, the social media group, to the next level. And there are a lot of little outlying tasks that people have been doing that felt we needed to kind of bring it all together. So we kind of formed the communications team. So our goals, of course, is to bring together the social media website, press releases, and several of the online functions that have been happening, much like Chris is filming today, things like that. Streamline the process for making requests and execution. When I say execution, it's like we're going to treat each of these requests kind of like an advertising campaign, where you kind of tell us what you want. We're going to work it. We're going to work the. Can't hear. Sorry. Nobody's ever said they can't hear me. That's crazy. All right, sorry about that. So the idea is that we're going to treat every request as kind of like an advertising campaign, in which we will then kind of gather up what your requirements are. We will execute it, and then we'll do a follow-up and make sure that everything worked the way it needed to work. And then we also need to do some recruiting, because this is getting big. We're getting big as an organization, and there's a lot of stuff happening, as you guys have probably been aware. So, okay, so basically our functions that we have right now within our team is social media. So they do the graphics creation, content creation, short form videos, managing the posts and website updates and YouTube videos. We have media communications, which is our press releases, notifications of the different happenings, coordinating interviews. Then there's miscellaneous graphics, which are the printables like the flyers, the stickers, graphics for t-shirts, slides for the presentations today. Now, what we also need, and this is where we're kind of lacking, is photography and videography. We really could use some people, and I've reached out to a couple people, but we're kind of looking for some dedicated photographers and dedicated videographers, so that when we have no kings, we know that we're not trying to gather up photos from all of our different phones and things like that, that we actually have people that can take the great shots that really speak to us. And then the other functions that we handle as well are emails, content generation, tech support, etc. So I've kind of given you, here's a little chart of the breakdown of the people that we have in the different functions. And you'll notice in the right column, a lot of those are empty. Those are spots I'm hoping some of you guys would be more than happy to fill in. So right now we have under our social media posts, so we've got graphics creations, copywriting, schedule posting, cat handles, all that stuff. She used to do the reels and stuff before Gigi, so you probably are familiar with her face. Facebook content curation, both Susans have been working on it. In fact, Susan Wise has been having a lot of fun engaging with our trolls and handling it most marvelously. So,
It's an outlet.
yeah, and then we have Reddit as well, which is Susan and Kat have been working on. Our short form videos, those are our reels. Those are the vertical reels that you'll see on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So Kat and Gigi have been kind of handling writing the script and then filming those, editing them. And then Kat does all the scheduling. So she has this nice software she uses so she can get all these campaigns going and say, okay, this is going to go out on this day, that'll go out on that day. So long form videos, I've been doing some of that stuff. Those are the videos that we'll put up on YouTube. Those are usually your horizontal ones. And then website, I've been handling that, but I'm also expanding the website and getting ready to roll out some features to where the different groups can actually have their sections and write their own articles and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in doing that, right now I know that you guys are adding posts and stuff on the calendar, but if you want to have a section to write your own content, please get with me and we'll work that together. Now that's just the digital side. Now the physical side, we also print up flyers, maps, things like that we have hand out. The QR codes and things that we have that people can scan when we do the caravans, the maps and things like that. So I know Beth does a lot of that. I do some of that as well. Beth also handles our slide deck creation, and she's our kind of AV ops person today. And I'll kind of back her up on that a little bit. Carissa does some videography, but like I said, we're looking for somebody to really fill in that spot. We're looking for a photographer, other tech support, things like that. And then we have Heather that handles our press releases and media notifications, and she coordinates with people to do the interviews. It's usually whoever's on spot and has a pretty smile. So, so that being said, what is to come with our group? Well, we're going to try to streamline the request process. We're looking at enhancing a form or having a ticket system so that you guys can easily get on there and say, okay, this is what we want, some notification for this particular event. We want it to go out publicly or privately, and these are the things we want. We want a YouTube video, whatever. You kind of pick and choose it, that all goes into this queue. We divvy up the tasks, and then we get it done with. So that's kind of our streamlined process that we're looking at. And we're also looking at expanding the team, as I mentioned. Because we want redundancy, so that when I'm off on a vacation, somebody can fix something. When Kat's off, I'm doing her stuff, we have somebody who can do graphics. Because also, we're just getting really busy. We got things that are happening left and right. And one of the things that I think is really exciting right now is because we're working closely with the events team. And the events team's coming up with a lot of really great ideas. I don't know if you all saw the little President's Day video. Yeah. As of this afternoon, over 303,000 views. That is insane. The Cherry Street video where they were doing the march, that's got over 50,000 views, and that's the one that the trolls are still hitting those, 7-8 weeks later. So,
They are big mad about that.
they are really crazy. So what we found is that our activism isn't just on the corner, isn't just in the park, isn't just doing all these great things. It's also online. We have a great reach. So that's one of the things that we really are excited about. Yes?
Where are these videos posted?
They're on our Facebook page right now. And we do have some videos posted on our YouTube channel and then on TikTok as well. Yes?
Can they be shared from the Facebook page?
Yes, in fact, we've had 24,000 shares, I believe, on the President's Day one, so that's one of the reasons it went viral. So when you get onto the Indivisible Tulsa County's public Facebook page, you find it, just hit the share link and it'll go right on out there. So.
But some that are shared on the private page, cannot be shared.
That is correct.
Private group.
Yeah, we do have things on the private group that we want to just keep within the people that are here that are on the group because we don't want the trolls, we don't want to tip off any agitators that may show up at places and try to disrupt us. So that's one of the reasons when we do these campaigns, it's like, is it going to be a public event? Is it going to be a private event? And we're going to customize the way we present that and advertise it and notify people and so on and so forth. So, any other questions? I think that's about it. I know I talked fast and loud, sorry. All right, well, thank you guys very much. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I have a late question, you guys already clapped. Is there anything to hand out, to leave around surreptitiously like a card campaign that just says Indivisible Tulsa with a QR code, just like in leaving the women's restroom or in the doctor's office or on the shelf at the bookstore?
I have stuff.
We do
I'll
have
give you
those.
stuff.
And Susan's got some, and I think that's a great idea. And we probably start making sure we have plenty on here to be more rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be a great way
Give you
of
some?
throw it in the bathroom there, or, you know, leave it under your tip at the restaurant or whatever.
Quick trip.
Quick trip, yes. Any other questions? No? All right, well, thank you guys very much.
We'll get more of those postcards, it's a great idea.
We'll get more.
Ray. I think Ray has it.
She may have given that to Maureen.
Last year, our focus was on protest, and I feel like our protests have exploded in number and visibility. We've done a lot of things right in our protests, and one of the biggest reasons for this is Brandon.
Hey, it's a big team effort. So. Okay, so events. I'm Brandy Shervinsky. I'm with events, and I mean we do events. Sorry, just click it. So yeah, we're always looking for new ideas. I mean, if you guys see stuff on, we're looking for new ideas and volunteers and everything, but, certainly protests, whether you're talking about Big No Kings or the pop-up protests, we've done several signs of fascism and kind of different little, mini marches, solidarity marches and stuff, resistance caravan, we have bridge protests. I mean, we're kind of trying to make it really creative and do a lot of different things and in different locations. We've had the Friday protests, which have been going pretty well. Essentially the events group, there's a lot of logistics. You have to, hey, where are you going? What time are you going? What's the best spot? Does it have good sidewalks? What type of protest are you doing? Does the park allow you to be there? Is there parking? Is it gonna be safe? If you're having speakers, probably on the side of the road is not a good place to be. You can't hear anything. We coordinate with the city, we coordinate with the police. There's just a lot of stuff like that, things to think about, and that's what we're covering. And we're always trying, obviously we look up, we see the stuff that's going on online. Hey, that was a really cool event out there. Hey, maybe we can try it here. Again, we're looking for volunteers. If you want to join the group, yes, talk to me, I'll be out there. So let's see, a few things. I'm gonna let a couple other people talk here in a minute about the, I guess kind of mini marches or whatever, I'm not sure, or, the sidewalk protests that we're doing, and then bridges. And so, but I'm gonna be doing Freedom Fridays, okay, thank you. Okay, so these are kind of hand in hand. We've been doing Freedom Friday, 6th in Boston. To be honest, I know we've had some, hey, there's not a lot of traffic, whatever. This location is good because you can actually talk to people when you go down there. There's a little green area, and it's a good place to gather. The cars are going slower, so they can actually read your sign, and there's foot traffic. So we are likely going to stay at 6th in Boston at least through until No Kings. Okay, and then possibly after that, I know eventually they're going to tear up that Centennial Green, and so we will probably have to move, but at least, and it kind of gives people, hey, yes, we're going to be protesting downtown, go drive around downtown. We had a pop-up protest for Langford. The pop-up protests are generally, in response to either like a kind of one-off event, like Langford going to the Chamber of Commerce, or, response to some crazy thing that's happened. They're generally short notice. We will have information on all of this stuff. We always post it on all of the social media, on the website. I hate Facebook too, so yeah. Let's see. Okay, no Kings. I'm trying to be quick because I know we got lots of stuff to talk about. No Kings is going to be awesome. Yes! I'm super excited. This is going to be huge, okay? What we're doing is a rally style. We will have speakers. We already have like 6 to 8 speakers. We will have speakers, we will have music, we got the park permit today. We have all Dreamkeepers. Dreamkeepers is ours for that day. It's going to be 1 to 3 p.m. on March 28th. Okay, this is not going to be rescheduled. Okay, it's gonna rain. Be prepared. All right? It's rained on all of our other events. Just deal with it. It's not a rescheduled thing. So, okay. This is, when I say rally style, if you went out to our hands-off protest about a year ago, that's what it's going to be kind of more like, but with a lot more people. And with a lot more organizing experience and, a lot more to it. So I would say... Potties. Yeah, we will have porta potties. So yes, it's going to be family friendly. If you want to bring a chair, there will be, after kind of our thing, we're right there on the street, and if you want to grab your sign and after kind of what we've done our thing, go out and stand along the street and keep protesting. That's cool. So let's see. So for speakers, we have clergy, politicians, unions, education, more. So we are trying to cover all the bases. We have League of Women Voters who we're partnering with on this. So there will be voter registration out there and lots of other things. Music, we're lining out music. Jeff Sloan's helping out a lot. He's awesome. So as far as help, all of this stuff costs money. Okay, when we have been kind of, winging it a little bit, hey, who has a sound system to donate? No, we're renting this. We want everybody to be able to hear, and we can't do that if we don't pay for it. All of this costs money. The park permit costs money. Security costs money. Sound, stage, porta potties, flyers, posters, it all costs money. So if you can't do anything else, donate, because it'll go to all of our stuff, but this big event, it costs money. We can't do it small, and make it, enjoyable for everybody. Already said this, be prepared for the weather. If it rains, the sound system, all the sound stuff has to go underneath the shelter. Okay, if it doesn't rain, we'll be more kind of open and everything. We're gonna go scope all this out. We're gonna find the best spot, But no selling food or arts and crafts, that kind of stuff. This goes back to our permit. The type of permit that we got was a lot less expensive as long as we don't sell stuff. Okay, if we start selling stuff, that permit price skyrockets. Okay, we don't want to get in trouble. We're trying to do things right. Take donations. We will be taking donations, like Care Committee said. That will be, we'll have all that organized, so there will be donations. I would say we are going to need extra volunteers for this. So if you want to volunteer, we're going to need volunteers, and everybody can do this, is to distribute flyers and put up posters. Once we get the graphic done, we will have printable formats. You can go home and print this. You can take it to whatever plate, have it printed. This is a good way to share the labor and share the cost to do it yourself and go leave it around, okay? So that is, if you really want to get crazy with it, I can print up a whole bunch for you, but I'm not gonna print 25 pages of anything for anybody. You guys can do that on your own. Okay. We will need people to come out and help assist in setting up. We will have a plan, but if you want to get there early, we are accessing the park at like 8 in the morning. And so we don't necessarily have to be there, but we're going to be setting up early. If you can get there early, if you've got some muscle, then help us come help us set up. But talk to us first so we know who's coming, get with me. Parking lot monitors. There is one parking lot at Dreamkeepers, okay? It's right at the northern part of the park, okay? My thought is to essentially use that parking lot for volunteers and for drop-offs only. If you are coming out just to come out and protest from 1 to 3, that parking lot is not going to be accessible to you, okay? And I would suggest either rideshare, Uber, Lyft, whatever, or drive around. There's tons of residential parking. I mean, scope it out. You got a month. Scope it out. Find your parking spot. Drive around on the weekend. Find the spot. Find the areas that aren't going to be busy. But we will need people up there monitoring the parking lot. The last No Kings in October that we had there twice people started trying to park in the park. No. Parks has already said no cars in the park. Absolutely not. So we're going to have people up there helping to monitor that, telling people where to go. Yes, you can drop people off here. No, you can't park in the park. We're going to need cleanup crew, pretty much during and after. So we are responsible for keeping the park clean, leaving it clean, not having things destroyed. So we're going to need volunteers for that. And then I'm sure Care Committee will work on this too, but we're going to need volunteers to help collect donations and deliver donations. That will be like an effort between us and Care so that, we get things going in the right place. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I don't know, all your blow up things. I mean, this is like joyful, fun festival. Like, this is gonna be just coming together as a big community and just a huge party. So yeah, yes.
How do we contact you?
You can email. I don't know my phone numbers. Just email. It's Tulsa County, Indivisible Tulsa County @gmail.com, and then they will distribute to me. So just kind of the general Indivisible Tulsa County email, and then yes. Any other questions?
And what's your name again?
I'm Brandy Chervinsky. Just Brandy, BRANDIE. All right. Bridge.
Is Cassie here?
Yeah, she's right here.
I don't know where the pictures are, y'all. I think I have pictures. That's
Okay, hello, can you hear me? Okay, my name's Cassie and this is Erin, and we are 2 of the 4 leaders for the bridge crew. So I just want to first off thank also Summer and Kim, who are not here, also all of the peacekeepers who come out for us, all of our regulars who come to the bridge, Brandy, the events committee, Susan. Thank you all for supporting us. We've been going up to the bridge. It's the pedestrian bridge on Jamestown over 244. We're actually registered with Visibility Brigade, which is a nationwide organization. And they're started in New Jersey. They have chapters all over the country. And if you follow Jess Craven, who does Chop Wood, Carry Water, she sometimes features some of the messages in her newsletter. We've been going out there since last May. We used to go once a week, but when the time changed, we started going bi-weekly or twice a month. So this is what we do. We put up a message and we stand on the bridge, usually about an hour and a half. We wait for the cars, and then we go home. So if you want to come out, we'll be out March 9th and March 30th at 5 o'clock, and stay until about when it gets dark. What else? We are a small crew, so it's, the 4 of us consistently who go up there. So if you want to come out, just come out, come to the bridge. Do not park on the north side at the church. It's Crosstown Church of Christ, and they have 2 lots. We can't park in either of those. Also cannot park in the little strip of Jamestown because that's part of their property as well. So park in the neighborhood on the south side. Jamestown dead ends at the bridge, and just come up and meet us. And if you like it, we can add you to our signal chat. And I don't know what else to say. Do you want to say anything?
It can be hard to hear and windy up there, but we have a good time. It's always great to hear the honks and see people waving at us. So we love to have new people come out and join us because we do get a better response from people driving by if we are waving. And it could just be kind of a thrill, especially at first, to see people responding to us like that. And it's great just to have some extra time to socialize. So that's what we do.
Hi, my name is Pam Snodgrass. You heard Mark talk about our last small protest event. It was the President's Day, sorry about that, the President's Day video, and we were really proud to see how many people signed in on Facebook. Our upcoming one, the next one will be on March 7th. That's a Saturday. It will be from 11:30 to 12:30. We will be in the Tulsa Hills area. I will give the people who are actually signed up to participate more details about the exact location, what they need to wear, what it's going to be like. But in the meantime, we're looking for just a few more people who might be interested in volunteering. So see us at the back of the room if you'd like to participate on Saturday, March 7th. Thanks.
I'm Betsy Glad. I'm the second half of the team with Pam. And I just want to take a minute just to kind of describe to you what these protests are like, especially if you haven't been at one before. Kind of look at it as 4 characteristics. One of them is it's usually a small group. We usually have 15 to 20 people. So if you don't like big crowds, this is your kind of protest. It's also a very short time frame. It's usually under an hour. So you're kind of there and you're back and it's all good. A lot of times we might be marching or we might be stationary. And even if we march, it's not very far. You can handle it. And we also are very theme-oriented for these. So we'll come up with an idea. A lot of times we provide the signs. We may not do that all the time, but that's kind of what the last three protests have been, like that. So it's fun. If you want to get your feet wet with that, it's a fun group. And also, if you want to see what they're like, go on the Indivisible Tulsa Facebook page, go to the Reels, and you can actually see what some of those were like. So we would love to see you there and come join us. And we will be over here after the meeting if you have any questions for us. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Donna. She is lead for the Legislative Tracking Committee.
Isn't it amazing what the Susans have done in a year and a half? So, yes, I've been to the bridge protests. They're a lot of fun. And you meet new people and they keep telling you, here, have some water, have some water, have some water. And those of us that are old, they don't mind if we leave early, especially when it's hot. And that's just been a lot of fun. And I've gone to witness some of the other where they walk with the signs. It's a little somber, makes you think, but that's the point of it. So it's a great time. So I am heading up the legislative tracking committee. What we do is we track legislation in the Oklahoma legislature, which, as you know, they're in session right now, which means they're doing damage right now. So it's like the feds. So as you've heard from all of these committees, they're partnering with the League of Women Voters. They're partnering with the Day Center. They're partnering with this and that. Well, we're doing the same thing. There's a lot of other people that track legislation. And so we can use their databases. We can use their trackers, which makes it easier for us. Now, we've had a lot of people join in the last week or two, which I really appreciate. And so we're getting ourselves organized. So if you're a new member and you've joined in, I don't know what your face is like yet, I'll stay here for a while tonight and we can visit, come and say hello, because I've emailed all of you, I think. So, or if you're interested, feel free to join us. So we've got a lot of new people. We're meeting tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon at 3 at Kendall Whittier Library. Thank God for library meeting rooms. Now, we also realize not everybody can meet at that time, so we're going to be talking about an alternative way to be able to include everybody. So we'll have to figure that out. So what we do is we review these tracking databases, and there's updates all the time. And then we check the Oklahoma legislature website, and we learn how to do that in this committee, because obviously it's not a natural ability that we know how to jump in there and do all of that. And we recommend actions to this full group. So for example, Oklahoma Senate Bill 1667, you've heard of the SAVE Act nationally, where they're going to disenfranchise a lot of people. Well, the state that's the same similar bill in the Oklahoma legislature. They claim that it's going to make our elections more secure, but in actuality, it's going to disenfranchise tens of millions of voters nationwide. Most of them women, because if you've changed your name, then you've got to prove, here's your birth certificate, here's where you got married, here's where you got divorced, track your name all that way. I mean, really. So anyway, we were recommending now contact your representative and senators about SB 1667 here in Oklahoma, because we know there's going to be a lot of people talking about that to them, and so they need to hear from us as well. So we are going to the Oklahoma State Capitol on March 3rd, as you've probably seen on the Facebook pages and the newsletter. So check those out for details. Oklahoma Policy Institute is going to train us and provide lunch before we go to the Capitol to see our legislators. Do I have another page? No. But speaking of Oklahoma Policy Institute, I am very honored to introduce Austin Webb. Oklahoma Policy Institute's been around, 15, 20 years? I remember when they started. One more. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you. And I started donating to them immediately because I could see that's what we needed in this area. We needed somebody to analyze the stuff. They could dig in, and I mean, it was amazing. I've always been so impressed with them. So I've met with Austin a couple of times with other of my legislative committee people, and what they're doing for us to get us trained and ready to go meet with our legislators on March 3rd is really going to be very helpful, and we're looking forward to it. So if you need any more introduction, I'll let you do that yourself. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi. I want to thank Donna for helping keep me employed. All right, so let's get started here in a minute. There we go. All right. So I'm Austin Webb. I'm the outreach director with the Oklahoma Policy Institute. And so if you don't know who we are, we're a nonpartisan group. We research what's going on in the state capitol. We decide basically which bills we're going to follow based off of a few different categories. But we try to make sure that people understand how laws are going to impact them, how they're going to impact your family, your neighbors, and we also want to give people the tools to try to get involved in the political process as well and try to make a difference for their lives as well. So tonight we're going to do a little bit of a legislative update, and I hope everyone's feeling inspired. I'm very thankful to be here tonight because I know there's a lot of people in this room who are doing a lot of really good things for our community. I unfortunately am going to take you down a notch. This is not going to be as joyful. Before we really get started, oh no. Hold on. Before we get started, I just want everyone to know that in Oklahoma we have the legislative session that's 2 years long. We are in the second year of the current session. So what this means is that a bill that was filed last year could come back to life this year. Generally speaking, that does not always happen. We're not really seeing that happen this year. In 2026, there are 2,600 bills about that have been filed. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a few of them. There is absolutely no way that I could talk to you about every one, or you throw rocks at me. As we kind of get started here, though, I want us to take a look at this fun chart. I know. And you're going to see some important dates that y'all need to know. So, if you're going to look at the right, we're going to start off with the Senate. And for both of these, I just want us to go down to March 26th for right now. So, right now we've passed the bill filing deadline, which was in January. Session started. They've had their first reading on the floor, and now bills have been assigned to committee. So for the Senate, if a bill is starting in the Senate, right now it's heading to committee, it has until March 5th to get out of committee. So depending on what bill you're tracking, what bill you're following, if it started in the Senate, if it's a good thing, you want to push for it to get out of committee before March 5th. And if it was a bad thing, you want to make sure it just doesn't get out of that committee before March 5th. So you have March 5th to stop it. Now let's look at the House. You can see the House, they messed things up, didn't they? That's big, ugly. So in the House, they have committees, and those committees are broken into two. There's a policy committee and an oversight committee. What they do, it doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that there are two separate committees, and a bill has to get out of both of those. We've passed the deadline to get out of a policy committee for the House. They have that same deadline of March 5th to get out of an oversight committee. So, did that make sense? Uh-oh. I hope that made sense, because you're not going to get to look at it again. There we go. I don't know what's going on. All right. So we have our day of action at the Capitol. It's on March 3rd. For those of you who can join us, thank you so much. For those of you who can't, calling your legislators today in preparation for that March 5th deadline is super, super important. But it is not where the ball is going to stop. Because after that, it has to go to the floor. They have until March 26th to get it out of the Chamber of Origin. So you're going to look up there, it says third reading. Whenever a bill goes to committee, comes out of committee, goes back on the floor, the whole chamber votes on it. And then it switches, right? It goes to the next chamber. So they have until March 26th to complete that process, and then you have until May 7th for the House bills that go to the Senate to get out of the Senate, and for the Senate bills that go to the House to get out of the House. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is the metaphor we use is that you need to think of the digestive system, right? One's going to be going from the large intestine to the small intestine. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. And when I made that metaphor in a Tahlequah meeting we had, the gentleman said, well, what does that make the governor? So, all of that to say, there's a lot of things moving, there's a lot of things happening, you have a few deadlines that you need to do something by. So, what should you do? And what should you be thinking about? When it comes to legislation, it sounds like y'all have a group that's already dedicated to this, which is fantastic. This is a very difficult task. 2,600 bills, topics ranging from everything from animal welfare to water quality to housing to criminal justice to whatever it is. There are some key things that y'all should look at. Sounds like y'all are already going to get a good training on how to use the legislature's website. I want y'all to know that they should update that. That is probably one of the best ways because it is updated the fastest. It will generally be updated, so let's say a bill is going to be in committee, it should be updated 48 hours before a bill is going to be heard. Should be. We also use two other things at OK Policy. We use Legiscan and we use BillTrack 50. There is a free version of BillTrack 50. I'd recommend you check that one out. It can give you a good little synopsis of a bill that's not in legalese. So I would check that out as a resource as well. It can be handy. You can also pay for it as well, and you can make lists of bills to follow on track. So if we don't cover something tonight, you can use this to look up other things that you care about or concerned about. All right. Next. So you're going to see, as I said before, bills go to committee, and then another committee, and then another committee. It's important you know who's on the committee. It's also important that you know who your legislators are. Does everyone know who represents them in the state Senate? Does everyone know who represents them in the state House? All right. If you don't, we got a QR code all the way over there where you can find that person. And then we also have QR codes that can go to the state Senate and the state House, and it's going to show you leadership for both chambers as well as the committees. I can put this back up on the screen afterwards so y'all can come up and take a look at it. You can also find it on the legislative website. But it's really important to know where bills are landing and what committees they're in. Because when a bill dies in committee or it doesn't get heard in committee, a committee's easier to work with. You only got 7 or so people. 7 to 10. If it's appropriations, you'll have a bunch of them. But the point is, there's fewer people you need to convince. So getting the bills before they get to committee is going to be super important. All right, so what bills are we looking at here? So I've narrowed a bit of a selection. We mentioned SB 1667. I would also mention too with that bill, and before we get started, maybe we should preface this by saying it's an election year. So there's a lot of bills being filed right now that are looking to score brownie points, right? With a lot of bills, and I think especially for SB 1667, one of the spirits of it too is that it's defining who is an eligible voter, specifically as somebody who is a U.S. citizen, which is interesting. When it comes to democracy and voting, another bad bill that we have on our radar is SB 1879 by Lisa Standridge. This bill basically makes it more difficult for you to obtain an absentee ballot. Who here has voted by absentee in the past? Raise your hand. That's concerning.
Yeah.
Exactly. What this does is it requires you to have a qualifying reason why you cannot vote on election day in person. I don't know every single qualifying reason. I am not sure that being a poll worker counts. I do know that having a medical condition that makes it so that you cannot travel, or if you were active duty military, is a qualifying justification, but I don't know all of them. This is one where we'd have to kind of go back and look at the long list of them, but it's not long enough, right? One of the issues with this bill, obviously, is you have to prove that you meet that qualification. So you need to submit some kind of evidence to the election board saying, I can't get to my polling place on November 7th because. But well, you're going to see a few reasons why you shouldn't do this. So if you are concerned about this bill and you do reach out to lawmakers, we have a few things you need to tell them. Not all election boards are created equal. There are going to be some counties where it's going to be harder for them to implement this. How is that data going to be stored? I'm sending my medical records to the election board. Where's it going to go? How are they going to prove that's being kept safe, and how are they gonna use it? How are they gonna determine that the doctor's note I send in is justifiable? And lastly, this makes it substantially more difficult for elderly people and people in rural areas to vote.
And military.
And military people. Statistically speaking, people over 65 and people living in rural areas are the most likely demographics of people in Oklahoma to vote absentee. So this does make it more difficult for those two groups of people specifically to vote. So again, if you're going to contact your lawmaker, here's some great reasons why they should vote no on this bill or not let it get out of committee. This is headed to the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. And that's underlined right there. Do you have any questions on this? Comments?
Austin, are these on the OPI website?
I don't know. There's a lot on the website. Yeah, typically I would say this is some insider knowledge. Yes?
Should we contact the Judiciary Committee even if they're not in their jurisdiction? They're not our representatives?
Yeah, and I'll get to that point here in a minute, but yes, if you want to contact any member of the legislature, you may. Obviously, the people who represent you directly, you have the biggest impact with. All right,
Yeah,
democracy.
I think the health would be HIPAA. You can bring up HIPAA,
Absolutely.
they have to
There's some
follow the
HIPAA
HIPAA
issues.
rules, yeah.
And I don't think it's clear in this bill how your personal information would be stored or how your personal information would be hypothetically deleted after you've gotten your absentee ballot. All right. So that's a big one we're looking at with democracy and voting. More and more times, more and more states this year, over the last 5 or so years, have been passing laws that make it more difficult for people to vote. All right, now we're going to talk about immigration. So there were about 30 immigration bills filed this year. They were almost all bad. I'm going to start with the two at the bottom, those little ones. And you may have heard of some of them. So first one we'll start with is SB 2013. Now this is going to mandate a statewide 287G agreement. We have a group of people here who probably are very familiar with what a 287G agreement is. Does anyone need clarification on what that is? Okay, so a 287G agreement is made between a law enforcement agency and effectively Department of Homeland Security to cross-deputize certain law enforcement officers who act as immigration enforcement. What this bill does, now Tulsa County, we have, yes?
Oh, I was gonna say, doesn't that go against TPD policy?
Yeah, TPD does not have one. Our sheriff's department does have one. Yeah, TPD has chosen not to participate in that. There are multiple counties, I don't remember the exact number, but many counties and police departments in Oklahoma have one of these. What this law would do specifically is it would make it so that every law enforcement agency in Oklahoma has to have a certain percentage of their employees trained and cross-deputized to act as some kind of immigration enforcement official, and it would withhold state funds from any agency that refused. Very bad. I want to also mention this too. This one went to the Rules Committee. I don't know why, but basically the Rules Committee is there to determine, is a bill constitutional? Is it feasible? Is it within the scope of the legislature to act on? So by going to the Rules Committee, it's a good thing. That doesn't mean it's dead. That doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but it generally means it's being held up in a bureaucratic, nightmarish way. But maybe in a good way as well. Next one we'll talk about is SB 1554. This one made a lot of stink. Tulsa, we got a lot of nonprofits, we got a lot of churches. This bill would have made it illegal or a felony for any nonprofit organization to provide material support to an undocumented immigrant, which would have been punishable with a fine and possible jail time. This has also gone to the Rules Committee. Yes?
They've already passed a similar bill in Tennessee.
Yeah, so, yes.
I'm sorry. How would that affect our schools? Because a lot of our public schools receive school supplies. We receive clothes, we receive food for our students.
This is an excellent question, and I don't think the bill addresses that. This is a very negative bill. It is one that we want everyone to be aware of and to keep an eye on, as well as the one that would mandate the statewide 287G agreements. However, the fact they have been referred to the Rules Committee is a good thing. They are very negative, I would agree. Other states are implementing this too. But absolutely keep your eye on this. It makes things a lot harder for a lot of people, and also would require nonprofits, churches, whomever to start collecting data on people, which who's to say how that could be used, right? All right, the top two ones. So there's a lot of things going on. Oh, yes.
The 1554, since we donate goods and materials to immigrate, this could affect us personally, right?
If you are a 501c3, absolutely.
Or C4.
We're C4.
C4? I need to double check.
Probably not covered.
Probably not. I'd have to double check on that. This one is specifically targeting, I think it was like, they refer to it in the bill as NGOs. So they aren't even specific enough on like, is it a 501c3 or a 501c4? So I'd have to double check with that, but generally speaking, this is just a bad bill. So it's one that we definitely want to keep our eye on. I would say these two are big, they're bad, they're threats, but they are not the most present threats to people in the community right now. All right, the top two are uglier. So last year we tried to make some rules in the state legislature, not we, they tried to make sure that it was more difficult for people who are not citizens to attend a state-funded public or public university. These two laws are kind of following up on that. So the SB 3551, this bill would require anybody applying for college who is not a citizen to basically go through a program known as the SAVE program, which is a federal program that verifies whether or not somebody is a legal U.S. citizen. Again, there's issues of how is this data going to be used and collected on people. Again, this is scaring people away from going to college. Again, both this and the top bill you'll see, 2050, SB 2050, are also attempting to make it so that if you are not a U.S. citizen, even if you graduated from a high school in Oklahoma and you grew up in Oklahoma, you are still not eligible for in-state tuition, scholarships, any kind of financial aid or educational benefits. Of the various immigration-related bills, these two are kind of getting the most traction and steam at the moment. They would also have a very wide, broad, negative effect. If you look at that SAVE program as well, there is legislation, it did not pass committee, but there are other pieces of legislation that are looking at ways in which they funnel people who are immigrants through the SAVE program in order to get any kind of permit, ID, commercial driver's license, or have a document like that. So any questions? Yes?
It says individuals not legally present, but if you're going through the process of, which might take years of becoming a citizen, and they're here, they're not illegal really. But this administration's been complicated.
That's correct. I think some of the issues with this too is, does it take into account, I know that they are looking more at is somebody lawfully present in the United States, which can change. There is also a bill that would make it illegal for undocumented people from owning property in Oklahoma. One of the parts of that bill is that it makes a provision available so that if your status at some point changes or is removed, that you would have to sell your property within 5 years. That is, I think, generally where these bills are trying to head.
Well, they're happy to take undocumented taxes.
Oh yeah, they are. They're more than happy to take your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were concerned about these bills, what could you say about it? Well, for one, if you grew up here, you should be able to go to college here. That should be self-explanatory. Universities would not lose money accepting more students. They would actually get that money. And also, if you meet the minimum requirements to attend the University of Oklahoma, you have the right to go there. We have a shortage of skilled everything in Oklahoma. Nurses, therapists, everything. This is not how you grow the economy. This is not how you get more skilled workers in our economy in Oklahoma, by making it harder for people to go to college. Or vote. And there are too many young people who are moving elsewhere for school and for work because there's better opportunity. This does not help our state grow. So, how are we feeling? All right. Let's touch on one that's a little more positive. A little bit. So this is SB, and actually before that, sorry. Let's go back though and look at this real quick. So SB 2050 still needs to go to the Judiciary Committee. This is the concern. It's written by Senator Pugh of Edmond. He is the chair of that committee. So be concerned about that. Another thing, oh, I'm sorry?
Education committee.
Yes, the Education Committee. And then HB 3551 is actually just passed out of committee like this week, and it is going to the House floor. The strategy there is there a way to stop it from processing its way through the Senate? This will likely pass the House. And the other two were referred to rules, which is a good thing. All right. Now, SB 1470, this is a bill that we've been working on with Senator Brooks. So this bill would allow elected officials and religious leaders, so certain clergy, people who are officially clergy, to enter and inspect private detention centers. Private detention centers in Oklahoma today are almost exclusively used for ICE detainees. This is a way for us to make sure that those private facilities are treating people humanely, are making sure that people are getting their basic needs met, and to also spotlight the fact that they exist and that there are people there. This did pass out of the Public Safety Committee last week, which is good. It now has to head to the floor. So this is one that it is a tiny little thing, but it does provide a certain level of oversight over the conditions that people are being kept in when they are detained. It could also help us understand and help people gain information about where their loved ones are being held, if they're okay. So it's been an interesting journey on this one of getting it through the committee. First of all, the kind of talking points that we crafted focused more around the state having oversight over centers that are in the state, that are requiring state funds, that are, a federal overreach type argument. There's also the First Amendment argument that the clergy should be able to minister to whoever they want to, should be able to inspect sites and should not be restricted. Interestingly, in the committee and people that we talked to in the legislature, there is maybe not a full understanding of what a private detention center is currently doing in Oklahoma. And so the argument of there are people in our communities who are being held here and who are possibly being held in inhumane conditions was a convincing argument for a lot of folks. If you are inclined to work on this, it does need to pass out of the Senate. And I would say the general talking points that you want to reach out to your lawmakers and say, can you please vote for this, are more or less, we want to make sure that people are being treated like people. And do we have any other questions about any immigration related work going on? Yes?
Are there any new jails going in?
Yes, there are 2 private detention centers being built one in Sayre, Oklahoma, and one in Watauga, Oklahoma. They are being built by an organization called Core Civic. And if you are not familiar with them, I strongly encourage you to Google them. And in fact, Google Core Civic, Leavenworth, Kansas, and you're going to learn a lot of very negative things about them. Yes?
One more question. I recently read an article that if we can stop these centers, we stop everything. Would that be true?
I think it slows down the process. I think trying to prevent them from opening is not a bad thing. this is the tricky part, is those two centers that are being built are not necessarily for people being detained in Oklahoma. They're for people, I think specifically it was for people in Arizona and Texas to be placed there. So I don't want to say that it means if they don't build it here, they'll build it somewhere else. It's not always that simple. It does slow down the process. And we have seen that it's been successful. You know, look at what Durant did, right? Look at what OKC did recently. So it does make it more difficult for them to carry out some of this. But it's a tricky game to play, because to some extent, you know, if my loved one was detained, I'd want them to be local. I don't want them shipped to another state. Yes?
Where are people that are captured in Oklahoma generally detained?
So we have a few different processing and detention centers around the state. Moss, you can be detained and held in Moss. David L. Moss downtown. We also have one, I believe, in Okmulgee County, Kay County, and a few other ones, but I'm not sure on every single one. Cushing, yes, Cushing.
So people in Oklahoma are kept there. They're not generally shipped out of state?
Generally speaking, no. Generally, people are kept here, and actually the facility in Cushing is also owned by the same company that is opening the ones up in Sanger and Wetumpka. Yeah. All right. Yes?
How can they enforce this when people in Congress can't even begin?
Lawsuit. Yeah. How would they enforce this bill? If this bill were to become law or statute, how would it be enforced? I would say that one of the ways in which we are attempting to get this done, and which Senator Brooks has been working to get this done, is by actually working with people in the Sheriff's Council and within the DA's office in various different counties. I think that there's an effort being made to make sure that this is done in a way where people would understand that, yes, they have the right to do this, and it is also technically an informal inspection. So they cannot grade anybody, they cannot mess with somebody's funding or license or ability to operate. However, it does help to shed light on what's happening. I think that one of the reasons as well that it might differentiate slightly is because, quite frankly, your local elected officials are much more low profile. And people are not going to be as alarmed by a state senator or you know, a minister from a smaller church in Tulsa to go and visit these centers as they are for the president or a member of Congress. Yes?
PBS currently reports that 70,000 men, women, and children are currently being held in detention centers across the United States. Some have been held for months.
Yeah, and I know in Tulsa County, I believe at this point, we got 60 people who have been arrested by ICE that we know of. So this is a growing issue. I would commend the work that y'all are doing as well on this to try to support people at this time. Wow, that was really cheery. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Again, y'all, this is difficult times that we live in. You know, I'm the child of an immigrant. I watched my mom have to take care of my aunt who had cerebral palsy. We never got a power of attorney. She never became a citizen. So we would take her down to get her green card renewed every few years. I would just say this is a situation where I've seen it personally, that it is terrifying. I have a friend right now who just got a call saying he needs to come and they need to have a friendly conversation with him. So it touches everyone's lives. I mean, everyone, if you know someone, I mean, this is a perfect time and opportunity for you to make sure that people understand and have a plan and they know their rights. So outside of what's going on in the legislature, you know, the work that y'all are doing, making sure people know their rights, have a plan. What's going to happen to my car, my lease, my family? Make sure that people are prepared and do what you can to help them. Yes, sir.
How would this apply if it's a federally run facility?
They are private facilities that receive federal funds and some state funds as well. This would basically make it so that if there is a private detention center in Oklahoma, they have to, as a condition of being to operate in Oklahoma, they would have to allow people to enter the facility based off of these criteria. Now, again, I think this raises a good point, is like, will they always let you do that? A compromise in this bill is that you have to provide a 3-day notice. Can be swept under the rug in 3 days. So I would say, is this a perfect bill? Does this fix the problem? It does not. But it is one thing that we can do to try to make it a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. All right. With that said, some of y'all are able to join us at the Capitol next Tuesday. Some of y'all might want to be inclined to speak out about some of these things or other things that y'all are going to be tracking. I just want to send a little reminder to whenever you're talking to your elected officials. Identify yourself as a constituent or a concerned citizen. Specifically, try to relate it back to yourself. What is it in your life? Is it because you got a friend, a neighbor? Is it something that's happened to you? What's your story? Why are you connected to it? So my name's Austin. I'm calling because my kid has senior care and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to take her to the dentist. Will you vote no on this bill? Make sure you keep it concise, short, sweet, to the point. Make it personal. Make it about you. Speak their language. Do we get what I mean by that? Okay, money, yes, but values. Mimic the values that they have when you speak to them. I know, but here's the thing. It's not always about, you have to think about both what you say and how you say it, right? There is a conservative and liberal argument to be made about a lot of different issues. Think about that. Think about how you're going to spin that. Think about how you're going to maybe put on a Marminoki accent when you call, things like that. Make sure that you speak in their language, right? Human dignity, sometimes that is all you need to report on. Sometimes it's not, right? So speak their language. Make specific asks. I want you to vote no on this bill because it affects me negatively. I want you to amend this bill because it affects me negatively. Make those specific asks of people. And also, if they tell you no, try to understand their position. Now, sometimes they'll tell you, and it's hilarious actually, but sometimes people will be no because they just don't believe in that. And that is what it is. Sometimes people will be no because this sentence here says this instead of that. So sometimes it's okay to ask a lawmaker if you've had a good enough conversation with them, even if they tell you no, well, what could get you to yes? What could get you there? What is it about this that you have problems with? So the specific asks, try to gain understanding, try to be buddy-buddy with them, don't be a threat to them. Be their friend, as best you can. All right, with all that said, again, here's the timeshare portion of the presentation with our day of action at the Capitol on March 3rd, where there's free lunch. And a lot of handouts, you'll get a lot of handouts. And if you had any questions about this event, now is a great time to ask. But otherwise than that, thank you very much.